Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Eskinos, Dean of Admission at the Hebrew Academy. Welcome to elementary school. Elementary is for children entering kindergarten who are the age of 5 by September 1st through grade 5. It is a split curriculum day, meaning that half of the day is spent in a general studies classroom focusing on college preparatory general studies, and half of the day is spent in a classroom focusing on Judaics, conversational Hebrew, and Zionism. We are a co-ed program in our elementary school, so boys and girls attend all classes and specialties together. But starting in middle school, boys and girls are gender separated for all Judaic and Ivrit classes, but are still co-ed for all general studies. We utilize a STEAM approach to learning. You might know it more commonly as STEM, but STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and you should see those themes throughout both the general studies and the Judaic and Ivrit classrooms. We also utilize a blended learning approach, meaning that we utilize technology judiciously to meet the varying needs of our learners in our classroom. The great thing about blended learning is you can have 20 learners in a class working in a workbook, but at 20 different ability levels depending upon what they need. It's really tailored for the individual learner. All right, school hours are Monday through Thursday from 7:50 in the morning until 3:50 in the afternoon. Friday, we meet from 7:50 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon, except in the winter, we dismiss at 1:30 for daylight savings. So you have plenty of time to get home for Shabbat. Every school day begins with morning assembly in the auditorium with students in grades K through 5. They sing the national anthem, they sing Hatikvah, they hear announcements about how their day might be different, and from there they dismiss to their classroom with their Judaic studies teachers for davening. Davening takes place in each Judaic studies classroom first thing 5 days a week. Davening is a very important beginning to each day. It's a conversation with Hashem. Starting in kindergarten, where they're not quite reading yet, they are learning the davening through song, rote memorization, and the beginnings of reading. And later, as they hit first grade and they're really reading, of course, they receive their first siddur and they begin having their morning davening, utilizing their first real siddur. After davening is over, students will split into two groups. Half will stay in the Judaic Studies classroom and half will go to the General Studies classroom. In the General Studies classroom, students will work on language arts, mathematics, social studies, and science. In kindergarten and first grade, we use a reading system called Foundations. And Foundations is sort of like what it sounds. It's fun and it lays the foundation for reading. It addresses all the areas of language arts, including reading, the writing process, spelling, phonics, grammar, vocabulary development. We also use a program called Raz Kids. Raz Kids is an online reading system that's really tailored for the individual reader. You can have one child in the classroom who's very advanced and another child in the classroom who's struggling to read and another child who's typically developing and right on grade level. And Raz Kids sets them up with a reading process and unit that's really specific to where they are at that particular time. As the children get a little bigger, around third grade, they start reading novels. Peter Pan is one of the first novels that they read. They read a lot of the contemporary pieces and children's classics, as well as a Holocaust novel in the elementary years. We also use a program called iReady. iReady is used also in the public school system, and it addresses reading, writing, listening, and mathematics. And the great thing about iReady is it does an online diagnostic that gives the teacher information about the needs for each individual learner in the classroom. And it sets sort of a prescription for activities and units for the child to complete so that they can fill in any learning gaps that they may have. iReady is a great tool, but it is not the only piece of curriculum that we use. For mathematics, we use Go Math in the early elementary program. And then as they become older in third, fourth, and fifth grades, we use a program called Math Connects. The great thing about both of these programs is it is heavily based in reading and the vocabulary of mathematics, pre-algebraic thought, and geometric thought as well. It goes beyond just rote memorization of fact families and requires the children to become problem solvers and deep thinkers when it comes to mathematics. For science, we use a program from the Center for the Innovation of Jewish Education. And they provided for us a beautiful curriculum that brings science not just into the general studies classroom, but also links it into their Judaic and Ivrit classes as well. In a split curriculum school day, you do worry about hitting all the benchmarks for all the subject areas. And SciEge has really provided a beautiful science curriculum that allows us to ensure that we're hitting all the high notes, not just with our STEAM, but also with our Judaics as well. Social studies in elementary school is almost always linked to the stories that they're reading as a class thematically. So, for example, in fourth grade, they have a lot of focus in their literature through the state of Florida. And so a lot of their social studies and scientific exploration will link into that as well. So it's very comprehensive and thematic for the children. Each week, the children use Newsomatic. Now, Newsomatic is a current events program that brings real life situations into the classroom, but at an age appropriate level. So no matter what's happening globally with our news, students are learning about that as well, but in a way that's safe for them. So they're getting the information, but in a non-threatening manner. It brings current events to life for the children. So you may expect that your child will come home wanting to have real conversations about things that are happening in the news. So get ready. Judaic studies. Half of the day is spent in a Judaic studies classroom where they are dealing with not just tefillah and how to read and how to write, but also the Chumash and the Chagim and conversational Hebrew and Zionism as well. Each week in every Judaic studies classroom, the children will learn about the weekly Parsha and any Chagim that are upcoming. When children are very little, kindergarten, first and second grade, we're really focusing on Hebrew reading and that reading fluency, going from block script into script or cursive writing in Hebrew, so they're able to fluently read and write. When they're very little as well, we focus on the brachot, so they really can pull apart each item of food that we're eating to know exactly what bracha to say. So get ready in kindergarten for a fabulous bracha fair. In first grade, they focus really on the Siddur, not just how to read the Siddur, but what does this all mean and how to decode it. They also have a Siddur production where they receive their first official Siddur. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where they really start davening with their own official Siddur in the classroom. In second grade, we focus on the Chumash. And you'll see from my notes up above, we also use what's called the Lala program, which is short for Lavinu Lahaskil, which is a skills-based program that really helps the children to decode the Chumash. It goes beyond the rote memorization of Psukim and Shurashim. They really have to dig deeply and become critical thinkers about the Chumash. Then in third and fourth grades, we begin to introduce Rashi, Pirkei Avot, Mishnayot, and Navi. These are great precursors to going into Talmud in the later grades in middle school and high school. Every single day, students have a conversational Hebrew program. In kindergarten, first and second grade, the Ivrit lessons are taught within the classroom at one ability level. We're working there on reading, writing, decoding, the fluency of conversational Hebrew. But once they hit third grade, they really need multiple ability levels. So at that point, we introduce 3 different ability levels with 3 different Ivrit teachers. So depending upon a child's needs, they will be having a conversational Hebrew class that's appropriate for them. Weekly, they have a program called Israel 101, and this is where part of their social studies is focusing on life in Israel. This could be current events or it could be something more historic, but it, again, keeps the idea of Israel on our minds constantly, and it could be about an upcoming Israeli Yom or something within current events or famous people who've come from Israel, whatever it may be. We're always wanting to have that focus of Israel on our students' minds. Now, lunch is very important. Everybody wants to know about lunch. Lunch happens midday, usually for about 30 minutes. Kindergartners eat in their classrooms, but first through fifth grades do go to the cafeteria. It's a rotational lunch, so they don't all go to the cafeteria at once. About every 15 minutes or so, a different grade level is coming into the cafeteria while another one is departing the cafeteria. The kids will come in, they will wash, they'll say chamotzi, there'll be a basket of bread there for them, and then they'll either go through the lunch line and purchase their hot lunch, or they'll go to their grade level table with their sack lunch from home. If you do provide a sack lunch, it does just need to be dairy or pareve. After they've eaten their lunch, they'll go back to class and they'll do the benching in the classroom with their teachers. Specialty classes happen on a daily basis. Students get to enjoy art once a week with the art teachers. They focus on different artists, elements and principles of design and color theory. They'll learn all about what makes a work of art wonderful and good, and then they'll learn the technique and get to try it out for themselves. Music in kindergarten, first and second grade. They're working on all the holiday and Shabbat songs in Hebrew. They work on percussion. They'll learn about parts of the orchestra and famous composers. But then beginning in third grade, they're introduced to how to read music and musical instruments. And of course, we have a choir as well. One day a week, students go to the computer lab. They work on keyboarding, how to use a mouse, basics on how to save programs, Google Classrooms, Google Docs, Prezi presentations, all the Microsoft package. But they also work on computer programming and coding. This is an important skill for children to have from the time they're very little, so they're comfortable with it. All of the jobs of tomorrow really do require knowledge of technology and the backside of it. It's done in an inventive and creative way. The children really look forward to their coding classes. Additionally, we work on digital safety and digital citizenship. Every Friday, they have Shabbat assembly where they meet, in the auditorium, they light candles, they say their brachot. A different class will host Shabbat assembly each week. They will announce Warriors of the Week, where we identify students who've gone above and beyond in the area of kindness, and they're rewarded by being singled out as a Warrior of the Week for their particular grade level. When they go back to class from there, they will also enjoy a Shabbat party, hear their weekly parsha, and get ready for Shabbat. 3 days a week, students enjoy PE classes, physical education, with our coaches. They will do different units of study about different sports. They'll learn all the skills, agility, sportsmanship, and rules of the game. They'll focus on tennis, basketball, volleyball, soccer, flag football, different field sports. Additionally, they'll work on other sports so that maybe a student who isn't as athletic might find something that they love, such as table tennis, hula hoop, jump rope, things of that nature. About 80% of our students in our school do participate in one of our competitive teams. But for those 20% who don't, our coaches really want them to understand that making healthy choices and living a healthy lifestyle is very important. So PE becomes very important with that. As students become a little older in middle school and high school, they will also be introduced to personal fitness and nutrition lessons as well. Recess happens twice a day, every day. Children need to move. Fresh air is really important. We have a beautiful big playground space. When they're little, kindergarten, first and second grade, a lot of them prefer to be on playground, but then when they're bigger, they can go, we have box ball, hula hoop, jump rope, basketball, kickball, whatever they may enjoy. Every grade level has different special events and field trips that they look forward to annually. These aren't always the same from year to year, but good examples would be going to Kennedy Space Center in fourth grade and Busch Gardens in fifth grade. Also, there's usually some community events that we like to join in with other schools, such as Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaAtzmaut events. We were the creators of a holiday called Yom Sahal, where we honor the soldiers from Israel. And that's something that we created, and our kids invented that. We're very, very proud of it. But regardless, these special events and field trips are something that the children look forward to, and it adds to our curriculum. It's not just thrown in there as here's an opportunity for a day of fun. It really does mesh with our curriculum, and that's something that's very important for the children. So as they're learning, they understand that these trips have a foundation in education as well. Social and emotional development in the elementary school is very important. It goes beyond just the development of how to be kind to one another. We're also looking at bullying prevention and conflict resolution. We're really setting the foundation so that as the children become older, that they're less inclined to participate in bullying, or they will become upstanders if they see that something doesn't feel right. We have initiatives that our school psychologist focuses on, a kindness initiative, Say Hello Day. There's another program called Project Gavrua, which is really utilized on a daily basis. Project Gavrua teaches the children how to be ready, respectful, and responsible. And as we catch the children making good choices to that end, we reward them with a Project Gavrua note. The children save those notes up from week to week, and at the end of each month, they get to go shopping in the Project Gavrua store, and their notes become like money, so they can purchase fabulous prizes or experiences, things such as principle for the day. Something that children look forward to, and it rewards them for making great choices rather than penalizing them for making inappropriate choices. That said, students aren't perfect and they do make mistakes from time to time. By teaching them the concepts from Project Gavrua, the children then understand when they've made an unfortunate choice what went wrong and why. We do spend a good deal of time teaching the children about the expectations so that when things do go badly, they understand what happened and they understand the related consequence that would go along with that. Now, I've only scratched the surface of our Judaic and General Studies program. There's so much more to learn, and you can do that by digging in at our website listed above, HebrewAcademyMiami.org, clicking on the academic programs tab and then the elementary tab. You can dig really deeply at your leisure to see other information that's available about all of our curriculum that we use for all the subject areas, including also daily schedules and like. It's a great opportunity to go and see what we have to offer. That site is updated from time to time, so if you've recently visited, you might want to go check back in and see what might be there. You may have heard me mention this in other chapters. We have set up several little short videos for you so you can learn about the entire depth and breadth of our school from infant through grade 12 and beyond. So I encourage you to check out the other chapters as you have time. And you can also, through those chapters, you'll see in chapters 4.1 and 4.2, take a little tour of the school. That's kind of fun. When you're ready, please give me a call or send me an email so we can schedule an appointment or so I can answer any of the burning questions that you may have. You can reach me at admission@rasg.org via email or at 305-532-6421, extension 105 via phone. Even if I'm not at school, my phone will still forward to me, so you can still reach me that way. And if you can't come in for a physical appointment, I'm very happy to schedule a meeting via Zoom with you at your convenience. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take good care. Bye-bye.